imagine there's no heaven.
1971 wasn't just another year for rock music, it was the moment everything changed. Today, we're taking a wild ride through 10 rock tracks from 1971 that made huge impact. Number 10, Yes, Roundabout. Yes wasn't just making songs, they were building entire worlds through sound. In 1971, they dropped Fragile, and Roundabout quickly became the track that made them legends. From that swirling bass intro to John Anderson's soaring vocals, Roundabout broke every rule about what rock music could be. Longer, more complex, and still unbelievably catchy. At a time when radio hits were short and punchy, Yes proved you could write an 8-minute epic and still capture the world's imagination. Number 9, The Rolling Stones, Brown Sugar. When the Rolling Stones dropped Brown Sugar in 1971, they didn't just release a song, they set off a cultural explosion. Taken from the album Sticky Fingers, Brown Sugar was dirty, dangerous, and absolutely irresistible, with one of the most iconic guitar riffs ever recorded. Keith Richards' raw guitar tone, Charlie Watts' pounding drums, and Mick Jagger's sneering vocals made it feel reckless in a way mainstream rock hadn't dared to be before. Despite, or maybe because of, its controversial lyrics, the song shot straight to number 1 and became a defining moment for 70s rock. Brown Sugar didn't just solidify the Stones' bad boy reputation, it pushed rock toward a grittier, rougher, and more rebellious sound that would shape the next decade. Number 8, Black Sabbath, Children of the Grave. In 1971, Black Sabbath wasn't just making music, they were laying down the blueprint for heavy metal. Children of the Grave, from the Master of Reality album, took everything dark, heavy, and aggressive about rock and cranked it to a new level. Tony Iommi's crushing, down-tuned guitar riffs created a wall of sound that felt like a thunderstorm coming straight for you. And Ozzy Osbourne's chilling vocals turned the song into a rallying cry for a generation living under the fear of war and nuclear annihilation. It was faster, louder, and way heavier than almost anything that had come before, and it scared parents everywhere. Children of the Grave didn't just influence heavy metal, it basically invented it, setting a dark and powerful tone that countless bands would follow for decades. Number 7, David Bowie, Changes. When David Bowie released Changes in 1971 off his album Hunky Dory, it didn't just introduce a new artist, it introduced a new idea of what an artist could even be. With that playful piano riff and his chameleon-like vocal delivery, Bowie flipped the script on rock identity itself. Every lyric hinted at transformation, rebellion, and the idea that change wasn't just inevitable, it was necessary. At a time when most rock stars tried to fit a mold, Bowie shattered it completely. It wasn't an instant chart-topping hit, but its influence was undeniable, laying the groundwork for glam rock, alternative, and basically every genre that embraced reinvention. Changes didn't just soundtrack a generation, it gave artists permission to reinvent themselves endlessly without apology. Number 6, Carole King, It's Too Late. Carole King didn't just write a hit in 1971, she completely redefined what a singer-songwriter could be with It's Too Late from her iconic album, Tapestry. With her warm voice and deeply personal lyrics, King flipped the rock world's focus inward, making emotion and vulnerability just as powerful as electric guitars. It's Too Late was a quiet revolution, a breakup song without anger, full of bittersweet resignation. And somehow, that honesty made it even more powerful.
And you know wherever I am, I
Instead of posturing or rebellion, King showed that pure, heartfelt storytelling could top the charts and change hearts.
One of us is changing, or maybe we.
It's Too Late didn't just dominate the airwaves. It permanently shifted the balance, making deeply personal songwriting a cornerstone of mainstream rock and pop. Number 5. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? In 1971, Marvin Gaye flipped the entire soul and rock world upside down with What's Going On. It wasn't just a song, it was a wake-up call. Inspired by police brutality, the Vietnam War, and rising social tensions, Gaye turned personal pain into one of the most moving and political tracks of all time. Smooth, haunting, and brutally honest, What's Going On gave voice to a generation that felt like nobody was listening. At a time when radio preferred party anthems, Gaye made reflection and protest sound beautiful and impossible to ignore. What's Going On didn't just change Marvin Gaye's career, it changed how artists approached serious issues through music, opening the door for generations to come. Number 4. John Lennon, Imagine. In 1971, John Lennon delivered a song that would become one of the most powerful anthems for peace ever written, Imagine. With just a simple piano melody and heartfelt lyrics, Lennon challenged listeners to picture a world without borders, religions, or divisions. It wasn't just beautiful, it was revolutionary, and it sparked conversations that reached far beyond music.
Imagine all the people.
Imagine gave hope to a generation living through conflict and uncertainty, offering a dream of something better, even if it seemed impossible.
You may say I'm a dreamer.
Imagine didn't just make history, it became a permanent part of it, echoing across decades as one of music's most iconic calls for unity. Number 3. Joni Mitchell, A Case of You.
Where's that? If you want me, I'll be in the bar.
In 1971, Joni Mitchell showed just how raw and personal songwriting could get with A Case of You from her legendary album, Blue. Fragile, emotional, and heartbreakingly honest, Mitchell stripped everything back to just her voice, her dulcimer, and her soul. There's no hiding behind production here, just pure feeling, laid bare for anyone willing to listen.
On the back of a cartoon coaster.
In a time when most rock songs were about rebellion or excess, A Case of You was about vulnerability, regret, and bittersweet love.
I met a woman, she had a mouth like yours.
A Case of You didn't just redefine singer-songwriter music, it raised the bar for emotional authenticity in rock forever. Number 2. The Who, Won't Get Fooled Again.
We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
In 1971, The Who dropped Won't Get Fooled Again, and it didn't just rock stadiums, it sent a message. Taken from the groundbreaking album Who's Next, this track was a rebellion anthem, a blast of anger and cynicism wrapped in thunderous riffs and explosive synths. From Pete Townshend's furious guitar to Roger Daltrey's legendary scream, every second of this song screamed defiance.
But the world looks just the same.
It wasn't about simple rebellion. It was about the crushing realization that even revolutions can end up looking like the systems they replace. Won't Get Fooled Again didn't just electrify audiences. It became one of rock's ultimate warnings about power, change, and human nature. Number 1. Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven.
And she's buying a stairway to heaven.
In 1971, Led Zeppelin released Stairway to Heaven, and rock music would never be the same again. Featured on the album Led Zeppelin 4, this track wasn't just a song. It was an epic journey building from a quiet acoustic intro into a soaring, explosive finale that set the gold standard for everything that followed. Jimmy Page's intricate guitar work, Robert Plant's haunting vocals, and the slow, masterful build made it a blueprint for the rock ballad, and for how a song could tell a story. For years, no rock concert, no radio station, and no guitar shop could escape the pull of Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven didn't just dominate rock, it became the most iconic song in the history of the genre, shaping generations of musicians and fans alike. 1971 wasn't just a year, it was a revolution. These songs didn't just top charts, they rewrote the future of rock forever. If there's a track you think we missed, drop it in the comments. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into the greatest years in music history.